When I was about 9 years old, my mom was working for the Church of Scientology in Hawaii. And my sister and I were always trying to make a buck because I'm a total sugar addict. Something I'm still working on, but we wanted to make money for candy. So we thought, hey, let's draw these pictures and sell them, right? We always had a hustle going. First we tried selling them around the org and we got in trouble because we were
Were you trying to
conducting
build a business on the back of the org?
this 9-year-old and 7-year-old with their little drawings for 25 cents was a bit of a distraction. So we thought, you know what? I'm taking this to the streets. So it's 1980 in Hawaii. My sister and I go out. No one's watching us. It was typical. You hear this a lot, I think, with people who grew up in Scientology. There's no supervision. My mom was doing her thing. She was doing the purification rundown, and she was a staff member, I think, at the same time. My sister and I draw these pictures, and we go outside, and we're going to sell them. And there's a security guard across the street, and his name was Mark, and he would buy our pictures, 25 cents, 50 cents. We could go get some bubble gum or a sucker or whatever. My mom's job at the org was she was a body router, which most people who watch your channel probably know their job is to go out and get bodies and bring them in to do a personality test. I had heard my mom spiel for this personality test so many times that I kind of had it down. So I would tell Mark, hey, you should come over and do a personality test. And I don't recall what his reaction was about it. I just remember mostly the exchanging of money, and we'd give him these pictures. One day, my mom sits us down and she's pissed. She is livid. She's like, we are not allowed to go to the org anymore. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, really? Oh. Wasn't my favorite place to be at that time. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because of you. You brought the attention of the FBI to the church and it's not okay and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I'm getting there. Lean in, my children, lean in. And we're like, what? And I'm 9. I'm like, what the hell is the FBI? I'm like, this is not making sense to me. Eventually it gets explained to me. As I got older, I found out more. After we left Scientology, I told her my recollection. She said, that's exactly what happened. And then she told me more. So while my sister and I are going and we're selling these photos and saying, hey, come do a personality test to our friend Mark, the security guard, it's 1980. Mark turns out to be Mark David Chapman. And weeks later, he flew to New York and he shot and he killed John Lennon. Right? I know. Crazy. This is my Scientology origin story. So what happened was the FBI was looking because if you remember, what was it, 76, 77, 78, when the church infiltrated the US government? And then Mary Sue Hubbard went to jail and a bunch of other people went to jail. So this was just a few years prior. So in 1980, the church was super paranoid and about bringing that attention to the church, bringing the authorities and especially the FBI, which is not something I understood when I was 9. I was just trying to support my sugar habit. So we end up being banned by the church from the church for a while. And I'm cool.
Did he have your pictures in his dossier or something? How was there any connection?
Well, as far as I was able to kind of figure out, either they got, video from these buildings, because he was the security guard outside of an apartment building and the church at the time was directly across the street. And I went on Google Maps and I looked it all up and yep, it was right across the street, just like I remembered. I had never looked up Mark David Chapman before. And I looked it up and his Wikipedia talks about his love of art. I was just like, yeah, that plays. So I don't know if somebody from the church said something or they saw footage of us going back and forth. But here's the thing, Aaron, Mark David Chapman did go into the org before he went and killed John Lennon. So I'm like, did I inadvertently body route Mark David Chapman into the Church of Scientology when I was 9 years old? I don't know, maybe.
Wow.
And so he did go in. And when he went in, he told them they were a cult. And he was kind of ranting about it. Interestingly, I found there's a video somewhere on YouTube. And I was so surprised to see a couple of the Hawaii staff members from back then talking about how he came into the org and exactly what I said. he called them a cult and la 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 la, and they shoot him out of there.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, oh, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,